Yo, what's up, everybody? It's DFS Dudes back for another edition of the NHL Morning Skate. I'm back with Detroit Beastie. Hey, man, another night last night, another pretty good night. Should have been okay in 50-50 contests with that lineup you gave out last night. Unfortunately, we had another zero from a late scratch we had no control over. But all in all, again, the article was fire. Nailed it with your all-in stack of the day once again. And we're back at it for some more hockey. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me again. I'm excited to be here. Starting to get some regularity with these videos. I'm loving the process. I thank you for everything you've done and everybody watching this and who's reading and commenting on my articles. I can't thank you enough. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. So I appreciate everybody. And I do apologize for the goalie I gave in my main line, like you and I were talking just moments ago. He was the projected starter. He was confirmed, and then halfway through the slate, we checked our lineups. You messaged me, and he wasn't starting. So, like you said in the open, that line could have been in the 180s, 190s, but in cash, we're still in the green across the board. So let's keep it moving tonight. I'm ready.
I think 149.6 is what that line ended up with the zero from our goalie. We get 25 to 30 points out of our goalie, and I think. I'm terrible. I give RotoBeast a hard time with pronouncing basketball players' names that I tend to nail, but I cheat because I watch a lot of basketball, so I hear the announcers pronounce their name, but hockey, I butcher these names. So I want to say they just call him Bob, right? That's Florida's goaltender that started last night.
Sergei Bobrovsky, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Bob Rob, there you go.
He started, and
so and had 40 saves, right? He had 40 saves and gave up 5 goals.
Yeah, the goalie who was supposed to start, I'm just going to refer to him as Monty. It's Montalbán. So how about we just go Monty and we'll call it a day.
Call it a day, yeah. But we're on to tonight's slate, and that thanks for mentioning what you mentioned. That's the big thing for us is NHL should be another key component to your successful DFS experience, and that's all we're trying to do is help people become better players and give them a process, and that's exactly what the article in this video are set up to do. So without further ado, we'll hop into tonight's slate. First game on the slate, the New York Rangers are at Carolina. Carolina minus 160 in this one with a 6.5 over under. And if I'm not mistaken, Igor, I can't say his last name, I'm not going to try to, but Igor is a rookie goaltender here who is back. He started in the last game, had a really nice outing. I think he had 30.8 fantasy points. Had missed the 3 previous games with an injury. Is he on your radar tonight?
He is on my radar, and he's found some success, yes. And if you've noticed, when certain teams play, I like to get him in. And tonight, I love both Carolina lines tonight. Carolina 1 and 2. They've won 7 of their last 11 games, and they're scoring 3.2 goals a game. They're also finding success on the power play at 21.5%. Sebastian Aho, he plays on the first line in power play 1. He leads the team in goals. He has 34, while I'm just going to call him Tuva Teravian, line 1, power play 2. He has the most assists at 44. So if you dig in a little closer, you'll see that Carolina has lost 4 straight against the Rangers, but some of my success is just it's a little bit of gut, but it's with some factual things too. I think just because they've lost 4 straight to the Rangers doesn't mean you're going to fade Carolina both lines completely. I do think because of that fact, Carolina's going to win tonight. I'm going to give them maybe 4-2, 5-3 final here tonight, and I would feel completely comfortable rolling either line that you want. And like I said yesterday, little mix and match of both lines if you can, a couple one-offs, doesn't hurt anybody.
Moving on, Detroit at the New York Islanders. The Islanders, huge favorites in this one. Caesars has them as minus 310. I've seen William Hill's got them at minus 320. Only a 5.5 over under here. Are you liking both sides of this? This is your hometown team, right? This is your Detroit team playing in this one. They're just really bad this year, right? I mean, they're not. It's not going to happen for them this year. They're not very good, but is there any kind of goodies in this game that we can get behind?
There is, and it's on the Islanders side. The The Red Wings are awful, and if I may say so, being from Michigan and Detroit, the whole city is in some sort of sports slump, and it's okay. We've had our glory days. I hope we can get back to that sooner or later. But the Wings are horrible on the road. They're 13-43, if I'm not mistaken, their last 56 road games, and they're 1-6 versus the Islanders in their last 7. And because of that, I love, 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 love a New York Islanders line, their first line stack. Anders Lee, Matthew Barzal, Jordan Eberle, all 3 men, they skate on the first line as well as their first power play unit. So I think this one is not going to be close from the start, and a full New York Islanders 1 stack is what I'm going with tonight.
Perfect. Nashville at Chicago. We talked about Chicago 2 days ago when they played. Chicago ends up getting kind of blown out in the third period. You had talked about, Patrick Kane, and they're trying to kind of work a couple of lines out with these guys. Are you on Chicago? Are you on Nashville? Do you think Chicago kind of turns things around here, get on the right track, or was it all just kind of empty hope?
Well,
Chicago.
Here's the thing. So you mentioned it. They collapsed in the third period, and the wheels have completely fallen off this Blackhawks squad of late. I know in DFS we're not in the business of picking a team who wins, right? But we do like to hit over-unders and goal implications. And I'm all in. You heard that right. Sign the bells, ring the alarms. I'm all in on Nashville tonight. I like their second line and their third line tonight. And for the sake of real life purposes, both teams, when they get together, they're averaging about 6.2 goals total. The over has gone over in this game when these two have met the last 5. So I'm going to go all in on both Nashville 2 and Nashville 3. If I had to pick one, I think we can get a little sneaky play with Nashville 3. Rocco Grimaldi, Nick Bonino, Craig Smith. They're all line 3. They're seeing about 13, 14 minutes a night. You're not getting any power play exposure, Jeremy, but they're cheap enough where you can get them in, and then you can stack with another big line. And like I said, there's going to be goals and bunches in this one, so you want in on those points here.
Speaking of cheap, we transition here, St. Louis at Dallas, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Corey Perry was in your article 2 days ago as part of a Dallas stack. Corey Perry gets a goal, I believe, in a first period goal, and right out the gate, our lines were off and rolling. In only 12 minutes, a goal and assist. He had a power play goal and 4 shots on goal for 30.6 fantasy points, almost going 10x on his price tag. He's still 3,600. Is he on your radar again today if this price tag is a good value?
Absolutely, and I think I mentioned it last time out, but I had him in my contest at 1.3% owned. It's no a genius. I'm no genius, but I can tell you if you get a guy that's that low owned, you're going to make some moves and get in the green. I don't mention either team in my article, but I do like St. Louis 2 tonight. If you can fit them in, so St. Louis 2 tonight, but I'm really not on either team tonight. So I could see one-offs with St. Louis 2. As you know, you can get some power play 1 exposure as well. And they're all 3 of those guys in St. Louis 2. They're seeing some healthy minutes, 17 to 18 minutes a game.
I think one of the most important things to talk about just quickly before we hop into the next game is Corey Perry is a great example of, one, how difficult NHL can be and why the research process in a site like ours is so important. I mean, this guy plays 12 minutes, and if you're just a game log watcher who's trying to play NHL and you just, kind of look at from a minute standpoint or what line this guy might be on or might not be on, you don't know that he's on, like the power play 1 line and is going to only play 12 minutes, but have the opportunity. If you're just looking at his game log, here's Corey Perry, 3,600. Why should I play him? I'm looking at his game log. He only plays 12 to 13 minutes. But if you don't read the article that you write and you don't come to a site like ours or watch a video like this, this is a guy that is, in my tournaments that night, he was 4% owned. And it doesn't matter if it's 4%, 1.4%, 0.4%. You get a guy who's minus 10% owned, and he gives you 8 or 9x return on his price tag, you're going to have a chance to take the tournament down if the other parts of your lineup do what they're supposed to do. So, that's just another great example. We'll move on to the next game. The next game on the slate, you've got Boston and Calgary. Boston minus 135 here, the over under 5.5. I'm assuming you've got Boston in your article today.
I do, yes. I really love Boston's third line tonight. I mean, what more can we say about Boston, the Bruins in general? Their first line, their second line, they're hot as a pistol right now. They've won 10 of their last 11. And much like yesterday, DFS players, they flock to those higher price stacks, having not looked into the power play and the exposure like you just mentioned. But Boston, they've scored 3.2 goals a game, and they're converting on a whopping 25.9, so almost a 26% clip on their power play chances. Calgary, they're leaky on defense, and Boston should see plenty of chances tonight. I think just from the shots alone, Boston 3, you got to get them in your lineup. So Boston 3, you got Jake DeBruski's on line 2. But another cheap guy who's seeing minutes on the first power play unit with those studs like Pasternak and Patrice Bergeron. You're going to want, even as a one-off, if you don't trust the whole line 3 stack, get Jake DeBrusk in your lineups. He's seeing minutes on the first power play unit, like I just said, and shots alone. He can hit value on his price alone just on shots. So if he scores or gets an assist, it's all gravy after that.
And Boston with some of the more expensive players on that line with Pasternak and Bergeron, right? And Bergeron, you think he'll be an extremely popular play tonight, given the fact that he has had a goal in 5 of his last 6 games?
I do, and like I said, the DFS writer in me, I came from humble beginnings where I used to write a bottom of the barrel stack. You know, all those cheaper price guys that can help your line pop. So it's like you don't want to mention Boston 1 or you don't want to mention Tampa 1 because, you know, Stamkos or Pasternak, you know they're going to score. Those are like must-owns. You know you're going to get them in your lineup. But what about the Corey Perrys or the Jake DeBrusks of the world? Under 4,000, mid 3,000 price, you can put them in, and they're going to get 8-9 times value, and they're going to help your lineup pop on top of those bigger price stacks.
Right, and then you also have some hedging in there as well if this happens to be a
Absolutely.
game where a guy like Bergeron doesn't score, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So moving on, the final game of the night, we've got Colorado. They're rolling into Anaheim. Colorado minus 160 in this one. It's a 5.5 over/under. We know Colorado was your all-in lock of the night. Your 2 nights ago, and their first line paid off in a major way. Are you into Colorado as much tonight as you were then, or just kind of into them a little bit?
No, I'm way into them tonight. If Colorado line 1 was a female, I'd probably ask them out. But Colorado, they're like you said, they're in Anaheim tonight, who has been awful. They've lost 5 of their last 7. The Ducks have had recent success against the Avalanche recently, but that really doesn't matter to me in the grand scheme of things. DFS daily, so we want to prey on tonight. The Ducks, they've been trending in the wrong direction all season. I want nothing to do with Anaheim tonight or for the foreseeable future. Anaheim has given up a whopping 4.25 goals a game their last 4 games. Again, much like the Wings Islanders game, this one is going to be lopsided from the start. I could see a 4-1, 5-1 final where Colorado won, comprised of Landeskog, McKinnon, and Bobrovsky, do some major damage to that. I could see, I'm going to put it on film. I put it on paper in the article tonight. I could see line 1 getting 2-3 goals tonight, just loading the stat sheet here.
Perfect. So that's kind of where we're at with this slate. For a more in-depth analysis, make sure you check out Chris's article exclusively at dfscheatsheet.com. Click on the NHL tab. Click on Hot Pucking Stacks. That article will be up pretty quick after this video concludes. And for all your daily fantasy needs, make sure you check out all the content we produce on a daily basis. We have tons of NBA content up for today. We've got NASCAR coming this weekend where Tyler will break down this week's Pennzoil 400. Really a ton of content, a very exciting time to be a part of dfscheatsheet.com. We'll be back on Monday for another edition of the Morning Skate. Have a good weekend. Lots of success to you in your contest. Chris, thanks for doing this video, man. We'll check you on the other side. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for having me. See ya.